All right, take two. Let's try this again. I made a video to go up this weekend, and as I was putting it together and rewatching it myself, I thought, I don't even want to watch this. So here we go. We're going to try it all over again today. It's a gloomy, crappy, cold day here in Greenville, South Carolina, but we're driving the Q50, so it's not that bad. And the thing sounds incredible. So we finally got the exhaust done. It's complete, sort of. We don't have the resonated test pipes on. Those will go on the day we get it tuned. We're getting tuned in like 2 weeks. Thank God, been waiting for this forever. But we got the tips put on, we got the hangers fixed. So the car sounds great. Everything is excellent. As you guys saw, I made a couple of small purchases a week or two ago, including the Sound Deadener mat by Neuco, and I got some new stainless steel 4-inch exhaust tips to finish up the exhaust. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. The tips look awesome, but we'll talk about that in a minute. I wanted to just do a quick overview, a quick review of the Neuco Sound Deadener mat that I put in the trunk. I had never used it before, so I thought this is a good opportunity to do a really quick review on it, so you would know if it actually worked or not. Well, I'm pleased to say that it did work. It worked quite well, actually. We had to use very little of it, which was very nice. I think I used 2.5 to 3 full sheets, so there's plenty left to do the remaining portions of the car that I wanted to do in the first place. So, you know, for $25 or something like that, I'll put a link in the description below. We had a major impact on how the cabin of the car sounds. So I put a lot of thought into the components of the exhaust system that I wanted to use and how I wanted to piece everything together to not only make the car sound as good as it possibly can, but to reduce or eliminate the potential of drone within the cabin. Everyone knows that once you change the stock exhaust system, the frequency of the exhaust note changes and kind of reduces the impact that the sound deadener and the sound barrier has from the factory, as that all that stuff is geared and engineered around the stock exhaust system. So once you change that up, you have to make changes, or you could potentially have to make changes to your sound deadener to eliminate some of that body panel vibration, which is the source of a vast majority of the drone. Needless to say, I've done this type of exhaust modification many times over the years. I've changed the exhaust system up on pretty much every single vehicle I've ever owned. So over the last 15 years or so, that's right around 20 vehicles, not including motorcycles. So everything from 4-cylinder cars up to V8s to older cars and trucks, I've done it all. So I have a pretty good idea and a pretty solid understanding of what certain changes or tweaks to exhaust systems can have on a particular car or truck or platform in general, and also what it's going to sound like and what it's going to do in terms of sound level and vibration and drone inside the cabin. So with that background, I really, I tried to apply everything I've learned over the years, and luckily enough, the drone that I experienced in this cabin was, before the sound deadener, was very minimal already. I think I might have mentioned it. There was a certain point right at like 2,400 RPM or something, that there was a slight, I guess you would call it a drone, but it wasn't at the like really super annoying level. You could just tell it was there in your ear. And it wasn't really a problem at that point in the RPM range anyway, because you're either accelerating right past the 2,400 RPM, or you're settling in just below it, on the interstate cruising anyway. So it wasn't that big of a deal. However, my wife didn't like it, and it doesn't hurt to make your cabin a little more comfortable anyway. So that's what I want to talk about, the quality of this Neuco Sound Deadener sound barrier mat stuff. So it was a pretty significant difference. Even though there wasn't a whole lot of drone in the cabin in the first place, after installing the mat in just the trunk floor and kind of up in the quarter panels, it made a huge difference in the cabin. I wouldn't say the volume necessarily has changed, which the sound deadening mat is not for. It's not for, I suppose it has kind of a inherent ability to deaden volume a little bit just because of the insulative quality to it. But it's mostly to stiffen your body panels and eliminate that vibration and drone. But I will say maybe it's slightly a little bit quieter, but the only way I can really describe it is that it just feels more solid. It's the only really word that comes to my mind. It just feels more solid. I can still hear the nice exhaust sound, but it seems to be all back there. It's all in the back seat or further back, almost like I can hear it coming out of the exhaust tips, but nothing in the cabin. And even at that 2400 RPM range where I kind of got that slight vibration in the ear, you could almost feel it. That's gone. And it just sounds nice. It's a nice, smooth exhaust note through the RPM range, especially at that cruising RPM range. It sounds good. Everything is solid, is tight. That's just the only way I can think to explain it. So the Noico sound deadening mat, the 80 mil or the 0.8 mil, I think that's what it is, 0.80 mil. That is some pretty good quality stuff for a relatively good price. Go check it out on Amazon. It's definitely worth it, especially if you have an aftermarket sound system going in, or you just kind of want to, make the cabin feel a little bit more insulated and tightened up. Definitely a good purchase. So go pick some of that up. You won't be disappointed. Now, what about the thing I really wanted to talk about, the new exhaust tips? Here you go. Here's a little bit of information. Take a look at these. Again, I got these on Amazon.com. I'll put a link in the description below. They are by U-Power. I'm not sure. I have no idea who they are, but it doesn't really matter. They are double-walled stainless steel, 304 stainless steel slant cut. They are 2.5-inch diameter inlet, 4-inch outlet, 9 inches overall length. Really super good quality. Polished to a really nice finish. I could probably polish them up a little bit more, but they have a good weight to them. They're pretty substantial. They have a perfect length. It looks really good, and it fits up nicely with my diffuser. They're really nice looking overall. We'll take a look at them here on the car, but I would definitely suggest these tips if you're installing an aftermarket exhaust system, or you just want to change up even your stock system. You probably would need an adapter, obviously, because these are 2.5-inch inlet, but really nice tips. Pleased with them. Again, link in the description. Have a pretty nice look, and I definitely like the polished lip. Just gives it more of a finished look. They'll certainly need to be cleaned up a bit. It's raining, obviously, and it's been crappy for the last several days. But see, they have a nice length to them, and they look good from the profile angle. I like them, and the car sounds good too. Just a little idle clip for you. Hopefully you can hear it a little bit at least. But I just wanted to give you a quick update today. The Sound Deadener works really, really well. Very pleased with the tips. The logo on them is slightly off center, which is kind of annoying, but it doesn't really matter. It's hidden by the diffuser. The profile and the finish of them is really what I was looking for in terms of finishing out this exhaust. We're all set, man. Everything is good to go. Everything is in place. We're getting the resonated test pipes installed at Soho Motorsports when we get it tuned on March 4th. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be awesome. Super excited. Can't wait to see what this little 3.7 can make with the modifications that we've included. I ordered some stuff that's going to be in the next couple of days, so I'll hopefully get a video made this weekend. Something we're going to experiment with. I found something. I found it online. It's supposed to be good. We'll check it out. It's not a big deal. Don't get super excited. I don't want to mislead you here, but it's something that we're going to test out, and it could be a really cool alternative to what people are normally doing with these cars. I'll just say that. But anyway, what I was saying about the resonated test pipes, obviously that's going to change up the exhaust tone a little bit. So there's potential for a little rasp. Obviously, we're getting rid of the catalytic converters. I shouldn't say that out loud. We're changing up the exhaust. And this is the race car. Remember, this is just the race car we're doing this to. We're not doing this to the daily driver. But rasp is something we don't want, obviously, so we might have to look into additional resonators. We might have to look up into a little bit different setup in terms of the axle back, maybe. We'll figure that out. We'll see how it actually sounds. But these resonators that I got right now are doing just a fine job. So I can't be more pleased with how the car sounds right now. It's excellent. So stay tuned. A lot of good stuff happening. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Appreciate your support. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers by June. Quickly approaching that 300 number. I think we're at 285 or 286 or something like that right now as I speak. So I appreciate every single one of you so far. And again, if you haven't subscribed, just hit the button right now. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt you. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.